Welcome, everyone. Today's episode is all about finding your job in Germany, and I'm joined by Chandrasen, a co-founder of Destination Germany, which is international recruitment agency. Hi, Chandrasen. How are you doing?
Hi, Denny. I'm doing great. Thank you. Thanks for asking. How about you? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for finding the time to jump on the call with me and to share your expertise and to tell us more about Destination Germany.
I'm glad to be here. Very much happy to come by and then, provide some value to people who might be
Amazing.
interested in knowing more things.
Oh, for sure. We'll get into that in a second. But take a minute and tell us about yourself in a brief couple of sentences.
Sure, Denny. Yeah. I myself, I'm Chandra, originally from India, been living in Germany since almost a decade now. I came here to do my master's degree uh, in the field of international business and engineering. Slowly realized that during my master's degree, if I had to be in the business field, then I have to be knowing really good level of German. So while having my master's degree, I was also learning new technologies when it comes to data analysis, business intelligence, and whatnot. Then I always had my dream to start something on my own before even me coming to Germany. So as that was the case, I thought like, okay, maybe if I want to start something on my own, I have to join a small startup, a small technology startup where I could learn everything of building companies in Germany. So I went to Berlin, as Berlin is the startup hub of Germany. I went there, worked for different
Yeah.
startups in Germany or like in Berlin for 6 years. And while working, like I said, like I always had this passion of doing something on my own. But I was figuring out, okay, what exactly, which field I need to be focusing on. And then in the last startup that I was working, it is called Tool Time, and where there I myself and also my co-founder Vincent Ram, we both also worked together there for 2 long years. Then we had the idea of starting Destination Germany because we both were completely involved in hiring international talents, and we enjoyed doing that a lot of times. So we really saw that there is a huge market in Germany for the international talents. And then so the biggest motivation for me to start Destination Germany is that my life really transformed in a very positive way when I moved from India to Germany. So this was a realization that I had, and then I wanted to give the same thing to as many people as possible. So when I say my life transformed in a positive way, I mean that when you come to a different country, you get to learn a lot of new things. You get to experience new life, and this really made me a person who is more kinder, more open-minded, and more ground to earth. And these are the positive effects I saw, and I also got to know the same thing happening to as many immigrants as I was speaking with. So I thought like, okay, this is the right thing to do, and I have the passion of doing something on my own. I see that okay, there is a huge value proposition for anyone who want to come to Germany, and there is a need for the business. So everything got connected, and we started Destination Germany to do international recruiting, and that's who we are, that's who I am, and that's a bit of a background about Destination Germany and myself.
Amazing. Just a comment about international living or being an expat. I mean, when you come from another country, you see some of the things that maybe people who are born and raised in that country don't see. You see a lot of cracks or opportunities
Mhm.
from a different angle, more objective angle, and that's definitely the case. That is, let's say, an advantage for expats when they
Mhm.
start their own business in another country. They see a lot of opportunities that, let's say, people who live there longer don't see. So yeah, tell us a bit about Destination Germany. And what I also found very interesting is on your website is that you are performance recruiting. So what is performance recruiting, and in general, what do you do at Destination Germany?
Yeah, sure. So that's a great question. So performance recruitment is using social media for doing recruitment. So that's called performance recruitment. Like while working in different startups in my in the previous startups where I was working in Berlin, I was very much closely involved with a lot of with the marketing team, so performance marketing team, or in general the marketing team, because I worked all my 6 years I worked as a data analyst and a business intelligence manager, where I was heavily crunching the data, providing some insights to the different stakeholders. And as I was working very closely with the marketing team, I also was got quite interested about marketing and started to learn myself everything about marketing and performance marketing. So that's where I learned all the stuff that is required for us to like use this marketing as a channel to start advertising the jobs. So basically performance recruitment, I think now it has becoming a bit common, but when we started like 3 years ago, it's still a niche industry, I would say. So not many companies were doing. Even now it's still that like not many people understand, or like not many companies will use social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it, to advertise their jobs, right? So it's, I mean, to do that you need an extensive team who can take care of it. But when it comes to the HR team, recruitment team, they are limited to all the tools and the platforms that they always been using, right? So one of the famous ones is Stepstone, right? So that's what they usually publish their jobs. That also gets published in Stepstone and try to find the people or like the right talents for a particular job. But the German market, as you might be knowing, it's a hard market and hard to fill in position market, right? So not for all the positions, but for many positions, for skilled, especially for the skilled labors. Like when you post the jobs in the normal platforms like that, you only get the applications from the people who are actively looking for the jobs, right? So if I myself looking for the jobs, then I'm actively looking for something, then I will go to Stepstone or Indeed or whatnot. But if I'm someone who is basically not actively looking, but also if there is a new opportunity, I would love to explore. So these are the passive seekers. And but through social media advertising, you could able to reach out to the passive job seekers, and this is what we do, and this is what we expertise in. So we help the German companies, especially in the like the Mittelstand companies, to set up the campaigns, to run recruitment performance recruitment campaigns for the jobs that they are taking care of, so that we can find the passive seekers and fill in the open position. So this is in short what performance recruitment is, and that's what we are expert in.
Amazing. Well, with my digital marketing background, I'm super interested in the topic, but we would deviate from the main topic a
Yeah.
lot. But I do have to ask. I do have to ask one question. So,
Sure.
what is the biggest challenge with the campaigns? Is it targeting or engagement? What would it be?
So, I mean, when it comes to marketing, right, it's all about testing, right? So you run the campaigns, you create a lot of creatives. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it does not work. It's always the iteration process that is very challenging, I would say. So there is one job that you need to advertise, and so it's basically you try with one creative, it does not work, then you replace the creative, then you work with the ad copy. If it's not working, then you replace it. You work with the forms, that if at all there is a yeah like I don't know, dropout with the candidates who are starting the form but is not filling it up and submitting it. So there is each and every step, there is a lot of things that that is challenging, and basically through a lot of iterations is what it works. So the biggest challenge, what I would say, is that so when there is a job which which a company wants to fill, it's very hard to really say black and white, okay, if it works or does not work. Because we had worked with the jobs where we thought, okay, it's completely not possible to find someone. And then we spinned up the campaign. We ran the campaign for like 2 months or so. We got the perfect candidate. We got closed. But for the ones we said that, okay, it's super possible. Let's go ahead and run the campaign. And then we could not able to find. So there is a lot of iteration that is required for us to find the right candidates. So I think figuring out for which jobs that performance recruitment makes sense is the biggest challenge, I would say. So once that is figured out, iterating and doing a lot of tests and test running different types of iterations is what is the challenging part, I would say.
Yeah, interesting. So let's say on one side you are like an extended hand in recruitment for agencies, right?
Mhm.
And on the other hand, when you get the applications, you also help the candidates through the process. Is that correct?
Mhm. Exactly. So basically, we get the jobs from the company. So we acquire companies where they are finding it hard to fill in the open positions that they might be having. And then we run these campaigns. We get the leads or like the applicants. We process them. We filter them out by checking out if at all the right fit. We have the intensive interviews with the candidates, create a summary notes for each of the interviews that we make, and then submit this to the company so that they have the filtered and the most valuable applicants for their jobs.
Amazing. And yeah, with you said to me previously more than 16,000 applications, right? To date,
Mhm.
I guess it's very successful at even at this stage of your company. So, how do you process that many applications? And yeah, lead us through your process.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, the thing is that most of the applications that we get, I would say about, 60-70% of the applications that we get, it's mostly be processed by checking out the answers that we provide in the forms, right? So we run the campaign and someone checks out the ad, they click on apply now, and they drawn to the application form. So we create application forms in such a way that we could able to get as much information as possible. So the thing about application forms is that you cannot overdo it and also underdo it, right? So if you overdo it, people just don't fill in the form and submit it. But if you don't ask enough questions, then you don't get enough answers so that you could able to move ahead with the process for the candidates. So finding the right balance of, okay, what exact questions are important is super critical here. So we try to ask as much as like the right set of questions so that we could able to understand if this candidate is a right fit to go ahead with the next step. And that's where we filter the first step. So once we see that, okay, these are the candidates or like this particular applicant is has applied such a way that we could able to speak with him, then we go ahead and make a short call. So we call them and understand, okay, hey, like, is it the right fit? Asking the very basic questions again. So then if we are convinced, then we go ahead and schedule one more screening call where we try to understand that person in detail for this particular job. So like this, it's a laborious process, but
Mm,
majority of the applicants that we get, right? So we get to know that how, if at all, the quality is good while checking out their form that they would have filled and submitted to us. Exactly.
I see. Great. So. Um, Yeah, I'm thinking about. Well, you must be specialized in some industries or some
Mhm.
different categories of work, right? What
Yeah.
are your most common that you work with?
Yeah. So basically, like I was sharing with you, right? So since last 3 years, we have been taking and working on any job and every job, like any position that we used to get, we used to take it and then work on it. So but slowly, with the years of experience that we gained, we started to see the pattern. Okay, when we take the job, for which type of jobs and for which industries are we very much successful, at least based on the performance marketing effort, performance recruitment efforts, So the two main channels for us is always performance recruitment and active sourcing, where we actively search on the social media platforms like LinkedIn for the jobs, like LinkedIn and Zing, and try to find the right candidates there. Um, so with the performance marketing, what I would say is that the industries that we are quite successful in and would like to focus going forward. So this is also one of the main topics me and my co-founder are discussing at the moment, are still in the phase of strategizing it. But what I can say is that based on our experience in the last 3 years, the industries that we are quite good in is in the logistics. We are good in finding candidates for the production employees, for service technicians. So, like basically, when it comes to manufacturing, where you might be needing the blue collar jobs there, then we are good in finding candidates for the like healthcare industry. So for example, nursing as well. So recently we got a couple of assignments for one of the big hospitals in the south west part of Germany, where we are like finding 12 to 15 nurses and 20 plus Azubis for this hospital. So that is where we are quite strong in. And then international IT, so international IT is where we are strong in. So these are a couple of industries where we would like to double down on and then want to see ourselves as experts in this field. So based on our success rate in the past.
Great. When you said international IT, do you mean like remote job positions or?
No, so I mean, remote job positions, that's not what we are focusing on. We are focusing on the positions where it is required for the companies for that person to be present in Germany. So as we started, our whole vision was to do international recruitment possible. And with so for international when it comes to international recruiting, we also cannot do for any and every job because of the visa restrictions, right? So there are only a specific number of jobs where you can make an international hire happen, and that person, if that person needs to get a blue what do you say, this blue card, which is the visa for the skilled workers. So then they need to be in a specific, like in the mint category. That's where they should be in, and that's what we focus on. So if a company is looking for an IT person who is in the mint industry, and if they are fine with English, then we can definitely jump in and try to find someone who can come to Germany and get that job. So as we are into Mittelstand companies where we provide these like the candidates, or like we support these Mittelstand companies of Germany, that the need there is that even though when they're looking for software engineers or any of the engineers, they want someone who can speak German. So that's why there is a bit of challenge there. And for that challenge, we are also slowly taken some initiative and running this new training program called International Talent Accelerator program. But I'm not going to deep dive into that at the moment, but we are also would like to tackle that problem as well.
Okay, makes sense. So when we speak about, let's say, leads or candidates, when you select them, what are the next steps for them? Do they get in touch directly with the company, or you somehow help them along the way?
So when it comes to the recruiting within Germany and within Europe, right? So like I said, the one main service that we provide is that for the companies, we acquire the companies where they are in need of our support, which we provide by performance recruitment campaigns, setting up the performance recruitment campaigns, or through active sourcing. So when these are the projects, then basically these candidates like apply for these jobs. We interview them first, provide them with all the information, and also get all the information from them where they can, so where we check out if it's a right match. Right. So the process, how it follows is that every time when we get a new customer, they brief out everything about the job. And using this information, we try to find the right fit. And then this candidate, after finding the right fit, we do the screening call with them, create a detailed summary, and then submit this to the companies, to our clients. And this is how the process would follow.
Okay, I was aiming in a direction in our previous call when we were preparing for the interview. You mentioned that you also do like a German language
Yeah,
course.
exactly.
What is that about?
Sure. So this is the one that I was explaining, right? Like it's called International Talent Accelerator Program. And the reason why we started with
Mm.
this is that, so with this main service that we are providing to the companies, it's not so much in our hands to get whether an international hiring or a within Europe or within Germany hiring, right? So we get these companies, if they say that, okay, hey, we need someone within Germany, then we are bound to search within Germany who can speak German, right? But our vision was to make international hiring happen. And that's why we started with this training program, because in the last 3 years or so, we helped about 8 to 10 international candidates to get a job in Germany. So we do get international assignments from the companies to find the talents who can speak like a bit of German and know really good English. So that kind of assignments we got, or like the projects that we worked with, and we gained extensive knowledge on, okay, how exactly to make this thing happen. So that's why we thought, okay, how about we provide the service to the candidates where there is a huge need to them, or like where there is a huge demand on their side, to train them with everything so that they can get a job in Germany. So this is what International Talent Accelerator Program is all about. And what we do here is that we have like checked out 10 to 15 job openings in Germany in the field of Mint, where there is huge demand in Germany. And we find these kind of candidates all over the world and train them with German knowledge, give them with all the information about the German job industry, and make them understand about how things work in Germany. How does the CV should look like? How should the cover letter should look like? We also train them with all the soft skills that is required for them to find a job in Germany, and then make them ready to find a job in Germany. So this is what we are doing with International Talent Accelerator Program. So as we speak, there are 12 candidates from India who are in the Mint field are going through this training program. So they recently finished A1 level and now starting A2 level. So as soon as they are done with P1 level, so that's when they can slowly start speaking in German. And this is when they will go ahead and look for the jobs. So us being a German company, right, when we are training these candidates, the biggest fear that the German companies would be having at their end is that, okay, hey, if I do international recruiting, how can I make sure that if the person that I'm speaking with is a legible person, if he's someone who is having the right experiences, is he really trustworthy? So all these questions come into play, right? So they just don't have big trust. And once, let's say, the trust factor is taken care of, the other uncertainty that the German companies would be having is that, okay, how can I know that how to take care of the visa process? How can I take care of this bureaucratic hurdles that comes into play? So we take care of all these problems on our shoulders to make sure that this hiring happen, and so that the German companies don't have to worry about it. So this is exactly what we are trying to solve with this International Talent Accelerator Program, where we train the candidates and we make sure that they have all the information, all the soft skills that is required for them. We build the trust between the candidate and the company, and we take care of the bureaucratic hurdles and not the company. This way, the hiring can happen. Like the international hiring can happen without any
Yeah,
hurdles.
yeah. This is amazing. Yeah, a very good idea with the accelerator program. I think it solves a lot of issues, not only for the companies, for the recruiters, but for the
Yeah,
candidates. It gives them a streamlined process, right? And if they work hard enough, they will get much better results than, I don't know, looking for a job in 12 months, hoping
yeah,
that
sure.
they'll find a position that only accepts English or English
Yeah,
first.
Yeah.
job.
100%.
Great. So you spoke about the things that the candidates might struggle with. What would you
Mhm.
say are the most obvious mistakes or misconceptions that the candidates might have in front when they start to look for the job in Germany?
And they start to look for jobs in Germany. Yeah. So the biggest misconception, or like there are quite a few, I would say. So some of the things that I think they overlook is that the way how they always apply in their home country, they just think that that's the standard way and it works for all the countries, So I don't think that's the case, So the way how like getting the job process works in India is different in Germany. The way how it works in the US, it's different in Germany. So I think this is something that not many people do a bit of research, I would say. And that's one of the misconceptions. The second one is that yes, there are English speaking jobs in Germany, but it's just 5%, 10%, I would say. But the way how it has been portrayed, maybe because of a lot of people talking about this, is basically they think that okay, there are 90% of the jobs that are in English, but only 5%. So this is again a big misconception, right? So yes, there are a very few English speaking jobs, but the majority of them are German speaking jobs. So that's the second one. So the third one that might come to my mind is that yeah, everyone needs something to be happen quickly, So like we have this training program, right? So it takes about 6 to 9 months for them to learn German. The biggest question that I get all the time from many people is that, hey, can we make it quicker? So no, it's not going to happen. Like you cannot learn German overnight, and this is something which is a hurdle. Yes, it is a hurdle, but still, once you learn it, there is a huge opportunity for you. So yeah, that's something. And then when it comes to creating the CV and cover letter, yeah, they just don't give some time to create them. Like it's just one standard CV, one standard cover letter. Sometimes they don't even check the name of the company that they are like applying for, and it's still the old company name, and then just they send it. Of course, they don't get good results, right? So I think there are many of these smaller misconceptions that are there with the international candidate, and then once they don't get the job, they get frustrated. Wow, okay, Germany sucks. Like I don't get any job there. But when they have the wrong expectations, then it's quite hard and quite tricky.
Hmm. Yeah, I can relate to a lot of those as being an expat as well, and yeah, it's hard. So, um, what would you say? So, can we say or can we agree that even though there's a big, let's say, shortage of skilled workers in Germany,
Mhm.
the biggest blocker to find those is still the language?
I would say so. Yes, I can say that
Mm.
even though there is a skilled worker shortage, one of the biggest blocker is definitely German language. So I mean, and also that is the thing which, or like that is the skill that requires a lot of efforts, right? So a lot of time and efforts. And since that is the hurdle, I can rank that as the one of the main problems, I would say.
Mm. Yeah, and are there any other trends that comes to your mind with the employment in Germany that you see as a pattern, or that the companies or even government is trying to push to make this process easier, or let's say
Mhm.
recruiting more easier in a sense?
Yeah, so one thing I'm not super happy about, it's not, yeah, adding me or like supporting us who are in the field of international recruiting, which is a problem that I see, is that like, yes, on the very high level, where the laws and the policies, it looks like to me that it is favoring for the international candidates, right? International professionals. I mean, it's not only looking like it, and it is true, like recently the bill was passed to reduce the number of years for someone to stay in Germany to be for them to qualify for the citizenship. So all these things are going in the right direction, and this is definitely attracting the international professionals, I would say. But the hurdles that I'm seeing, which is not yet tackled, is basically like the ground realities, you know. So, for example, yes, there is a huge need for the international candidates, but there is a huge hurdle for someone to get a house in Germany. That's one topic. The second topic is that there is a like all the policies are looking good, but when it comes to getting a visa, getting an extension for the visa, there is a huge hurdle here, you know. Like for example, my wife is going through a visa extension. She's also Indian, and yeah, like the whole process is completely manual, you know. So you have to take the printouts, go and present it to them, and they lose it, you know. So there are the ground realities needs to be tackled, I guess. So there are a lot of these problems, and I would say that with regards to the job opportunities for the international candidates, it won't change. There will still be more and more job opportunities because the demographics of Germany is changing, right? So the baby boomers are going to become retire, and there is millions of job openings that will gonna open in the coming years. So that trend cannot be changed unless and until there is a new AI and robots that are running all around us, which can be a reality maybe in 50 years down the time, but I would not see that in 10 years down the line. You know, so that's why my hope is, or like how I see as a trend is that yes, this problem of short skilled labor shortage will not going to disappear in the short term period, and the policies are looking good, but the problem, like the ground realities, needs to be addressed as quickly as possible in order to make the international hiring happen. So even though when there are people who are willing to learn German, even if they face problems after they coming to Germany, the word of mouth does not become nice, you know. And this is a bigger problem that no one is talking about, I guess, you know. And if when someone talks about this, okay, this is bad, then there is no other person who would be willing to come to Germany. So this micro and macro effects that might that might hamper all the things that are happening on the very policy level needs to be addressed, and this is the trend that I'm seeing. So there is demand, there is supply, but in order to make things work, still work needs to be done, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you, and my personal, let's say, opinion or view on the topic is that there are things that a company can control, that they can
Mm.
influence, and there are other like bureaucracy that are on the government level or legal level that they cannot control, right? But when it comes to some questions that they can control, for example, if they're recruiting for, let's say, junior position or inter position, and they cannot even find for that position a good candidate, I don't see in ads that they are offering a German course or they're offering their help with accommodation.
Mm.
It just doesn't happen, right? So they're expecting international recruitments without putting any effort into what they can control, what they can contribute to, right? I mean, of course, they cannot extend someone's visa or push someone's visa through the process faster, but there are other aspects that they could contribute or to push to invest in those candidates, right? So at least that's my opinion and my kind of observation that I see in the job market at the moment.
Yeah, it's a fair point to think about, I would say. So that's something that many companies can do, especially for the blue collar jobs, you know. So for the well-paying jobs, you know, so here the companies doing it, I do partially agree, I would say. But especially for the blue collar jobs, and if there is an international hiring happening, then definitely the companies should also invest in them to get settled in Germany. You know, so yeah, this is definitely one of the issues, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And well, it's good that there are some additional, then let's say, services or companies who are addressing these problems. Like
Mhm.
for example, your company, which is in some way trying to learn these candidates the
Yeah.
language, or like Home Like, who is offering temporary accommodation. So we
Mhm.
kind of helping these companies recruit when, let's say, they don't have time or they are short-sighted, to have this in their control or in their process, right?
Mhm.
More hands-on approach. Yeah, let's say it like that.
Yeah,
um
definitely.
Great. So as a last question that we have for today, what kind of companies should approach you for your help, for your services, and are you also willing to kind of accept some direct messages from the candidates, like open letters and something like that?
Yeah, sure, definitely. We are more than happy to receive all the like the unsolicited like applications from the candidates. From the companies, I would say, so our target segment is at least at the moment where we are quite successful is in the international recruitment, like I was sharing with you. So this is where our strongest skills come into play when it comes to us understanding how the international hiring works, plus doing performance recruitment. That's where we are quite strong in. The second set of companies is mostly under the blue collar sector, where, for example, production employees like logistic helpers, also truck drivers, bus drivers, so that kind of jobs, and the hospitals, so like I was sharing with you, nurses, we can support them with so service technicians, and yeah, mostly under the blue collar jobs. This is where we can reach out to a lot of people through performance recruitment, and that's where the companies who are in this sector would be the perfect match to get our support.
Amazing. Great, Chandrasen. Thank you so much for taking the time to present your company and to share your expertise on the topic. It was definitely interesting conversation, and I'm really looking forward seeing your next steps with the Accelerator program. I think it's a very good idea and very clever idea. So best of luck with that.
Thank you so much, Denny. It was pleasure and honor to be part of your like the videos that you are doing, or the series of videos that you are doing. Happy that I could able to provide some information and insights to the viewers who are watching this.
Yes, exactly. And thanks everyone for joining. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to HomeLike YouTube channel so that you get a notification when we release new videos. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and bye.